Hey watch fans, Brad from Brent Miller Jewelers. And today I have for us two of the Seiko Pepsi limited editions. On my left is the SSK047 in black, and on my right is the SRPL99 in stainless steel. Both of them limited to 7,000 units, so 7,000 of the one on the left and 7,000 of the one on the right. Let's go over the dimensions on these real quick. I'll try not to go take too much time going over these. 42.3 millimeters is what I measured directly across the case. 40.8 across the bezel, and then 31.7 across that hardlex crystal. You can see it kind of has that slope there into that bezel. Bezel looks, it reminds me of a sapphire bezel, however, surely it is not. I didn't see anywhere listed what it was actually made of. But needless to say, I think it looks very good. 13.8 is the case thickness, 46.1 lug tip to lug tip. You can see you have your drilled lug holes, 22 millimeter lug width, tapering to 20 at the Tang style buckle. You can see you have the Seiko on the buckle as well as Pepsi on the strap. You do have a darkened exhibition case back there, so hopefully you can see through that if the right light hits. There's a sticker on this that is not scratched up. I just didn't take the sticker off. 4R caliber 4R 34 movement in this GMT model. 41 hours of power reserve. You have an unsigned, non-screw down crown, 100 meters of water resistance. On the rubber strap, I weighed it at 99.6 grams. Retail on this piece, $550. You can see you got your date window there at 3 o'clock with your Cyclops. And I will say the one thing that is not as noticeable as on the other model I'll show you in a second is your hour markers are blued. So again, you don't see that on a black dial all that often. But again, this is the Pepsi limited edition model. So why not? Bezel action on the GMT, bidirectional, very smooth. No notches, no real audible either, what you would expect on the Seiko GMT. So I'll throw this on wrist here shortly. Next up, again, the SRPL99, 38 millimeters directly across, so a little bit smaller. 36.6 across the bezel, and then 27.5 across that, again, hardlex crystal. See a little bit flatter on this compared to the other model. A little bit thinner, 12.2 millimeters thick, 43.9 lug tip to lug tip. So again, all the dimensions a little bit smaller. You still have your drilled lug holes. 20 millimeter lug width, tapering to 18 at that last link. Pinning collar system, no on the fly. However, you do have two anchoring spots here on that clasp. Again, exhibition case back. This is the caliber 4R36. So the 34 is the GMT. The 36 is the three-hand only. 41 hours of power reserve. And again, you have a non-signed, non-screw down crown. The same 100 meters of water resistance. And I said 300 earlier, 300 with the date complication on that 4R36. And I weighed it at 142.1 grams, no links removed. Retail on it, $395, so a little bit cheaper than the other model. Bezel action, unidirectional, and pretty standard on feel. And a little bit of audible noise there on the Seiko. And again, you can see the blued markers on it compared to the blued markers on that black dial. Pop a little bit more on the silver dial. I personally prefer it. And I've said it before, I don't have a real need for a GMT, but I will tell you, I do like the bezel and that look of sapphire on this bezel. Would have loved to have seen that bezel on this model. This is just more of your standard kind of matte aluminum look here on your SRPL99. Again, I think both are great. I'm sure people will love these. And before I even put them on, real quick, the packaging is fantastic. You have the black can here, the top of it. And then I love what they did here and gave you watch specifications on it. So if you haven't seen that, I just think it's a nice little touch on the packaging. Same thing on this one. And again, my specs were pretty close to what they list on the website, which is nice. That's not always the case. So let me throw on the first one quick, the SSK047, and I'll hit the lights at the very end and give you guys lume shots of both of these. Let me zoom out to give you real, that's in, wrist presence here. So again, I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist. I would say I could comfortably wear any of these. As you guys know, Seiko does a great job on their larger watches, making them very wearable. Again, 42mm case, but 46 lug to lug. 44 to 46 is really kind of my personal sweet spot. So really, I think either one of these would be fine. If you have a wrist of 7 or less, larger than 7, you might find them a little bit small, especially the 38. But again, I think I could personally wear this without an issue. As always, greatly appreciate you viewing. I will end this with a lume shot. If there's anything we can do for you, anything at all, contact information will be in the description. Thanks again for viewing, and we'll see you in the next video.